ready whenever you are.
My dirt truck. What's the new guy's name?
Jeffrey.
Jeff.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Jeff, like Newton and Jeff? Jeff.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
Yeah. Ready as I'll ever be.
I would like to call this meeting of Fraser Park Public Utility District to order. Today, June 12th at 4:01 p.m. Please join me and pledge to the flag.
Cool.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Roll call of directors. Director Schoenberg.
Yes, here.
Director Nineman.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
Director Gibson.
Here.
I'm just Director Garcia. Any need to adjust the agenda if necessary?
I make a motion that we table number 10 and 11, till the next regular meeting, till the next meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Take a roll call of directors. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
I'm Director Garcia, aye. 500, motion carried.
So Deborah tonight?
Number 3, public comments. Any comments from the audience or board members? Not seeing any, we'll move along. Number 4, Board of Officers, President.
Oh, that's me. No, I don't think I have anything to report.
I'm Vice President. I as well have no report. Secretary?
I signed some minutes tonight.
Okay. Treasurer?
I signed the resolution that we passed last time.
Perfect. And the JPIA representative?
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Number 5, any board member initiative? Yes, Director Gibson. What would be your initiative?
I would like us to start having full board meetings for the Lake of the Woods.
Okay.
That's my initiative. Maybe we can vote on it during the end of
What do you
the,
mean?
You mean like go to their meetings?
I think that we should, the full board, because we're not getting the information back.
So you're saying the full board come here or our full board go there or both or?
They come here, we come here.
When,
They come here with us.
They could do it on Zoom if they want.
No.
Isn't there?
Rather than have the ad hoc.
No,
Yes.
the only
You want-
rule, it's totally fine as long as it's posted as a
So they have to
meeting
post
for
it like in
them.
the woods,
Correct, with all the correct Brown Act.
and so the Lake of the
Requirements.
Woods people can come here if they want to hear what their board was talking.
Yes.
So we have one recommendation, we put in the form of a motion.
Can we during? the
No, it would need to be on the next agenda.
We take care of that.
But we should
Tiffany?
talk to Lake of the Woods about that, obviously.
Well, what night?
Couldn't we vote on it, excuse me for being rude, couldn't we
Yeah.
vote on it during our,
yeah, at the end of the meeting?
forming or dissolving ad hoc committees?
Well, it wouldn't be an ad hoc, it would be a full-on.
That's the reverse.
Well, yes, if you dissolve the planning ad hoc, then everything's as a full board. That's what she's saying.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, let me translate. But the planning ad hoc is not. But that was that's your initiative, correct?
Yes, it is.
But the planning ad hoc is also doing the other.
Everything not related to Lake of the Woods necessarily.
No, it's only Lake of the Woods now because we broke it up, but there's
Right.
other stuff that comes up, like the whole thing with us signing the real estate.
Yeah, it's not having to do with the board or what.
I thought what she wants is that the board, so that there's no question about, he said, she said, or whatever, it's not a he said, she said, but so the board
fully is here so that we're not hearing just a representative going back and forth, that we're hearing from the full Lake of the Woods board, but maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Yeah, no, it's just,
Pretty close.
But even if you're doing the signing of, or trying to figure out the French, property thing, that's still,
You'd have to come to the state planning meeting as well, so we would have to have initiative that the entire board does the state update meeting at
that,
10 AM.
that's a separate,
That's not separate ad hoc,
Yeah.
that's the planning ad hoc I mean, that's the. Lake of
No,
the-
this,
is it,
No,
no, that's a state
No, that's a
update
standing,
meeting,
Oh,
that's a standing
standing
committee.
committee, that's a standing
Okay, so
meeting,
that wouldn't
no.
change.
It would
So-
just be the stuff that you guys deal with, everything that deals with Lake of the Woods.
So that would mean that there would have to be a board meeting for all the stuff that's currently being like the property and all that stuff, which we're almost done with, but.
Now, how would it work if they didn't have a quorum coming from Lake of the Woods?
they're not bound by the
So
ground.
they wouldn't be bound by it because they're mutual
Yeah.
and they're just joining our meeting.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, just
however
wanted to make
many
sure,
events-
that's a lot of people to get 10 people together at once.
Oh, it would be whoever from Lake of the Woods that would have met with the planning meeting, or the planning ad hoc, those people would still have to come, but it would be a full board
I'm
meeting.
still not understanding the purpose of this, and I'm still not understanding what, because I'm not sure what you're wanting to get at.
we're not getting the information from your ad hoc committee. We don't get all the
You
information.
do get the
And it makes
information.
us like lame ducks.
We do give the information when we go to each item.
Well, you give us,
No. You did not at our last meeting.
we didn't feel like you guys gave a full accountability.
And that's coming from the state meeting. That's not coming from a planning.
That's because it was brought up that that you guys didn't give a full minute by minute update of it, but the
That's
fact
the
is,
state
you
update.
can only cover the whole, just the pertinent high points, you can't cover it. Any ad hoc, you can't cover everything that led to everything,
But
right?
that's not an ad hoc, that's the state update, so that's correct, that's the state update, whatever it's called.
So I'm saying, it's still just the high points of it,
Standing.
right?
I think if someone threatened to not go to annexation, then that's a high point that probably should have made the list of stuff you tell us.
I thought that came.
Nope, that did not come up.
But it was also said not to bring it up to worry people, including the state, because they were just talking about it and they just wanted more information before they made that choice. Because once it's out there for the state, then it may take on a life of its own. And then nobody has anything to say about anything. That's
Well,
why
I
that.
think it has a life of its own now,
I don't
and
think
it doesn't
did.
include.
Well, I think it does now. I think it does not fully now, but I don't think it did.
So it can be agenda next time,
Yeah, perfect.
then it can be on the 26th.
So I'm a little confused though, so it's both the ad hoc you don't want happening and the state update meeting would have to happen.
I don't know why you're confused, Lisa. When you had the last meeting with Lake of the Woods, was it a meeting you asked for? Was it a regular meeting? Or
State-
did they ask for a meeting?
Oh, no, it was both.
Well, that
They
one, that
asked-
one wasn't a state meeting. That
No,
one
that
was,
was the. ad
that
hoc.
was the ad hoc meeting.
And it wasn't right at the ad hoc time, right? They asked for a special meeting
Correct.
and you didn't report that either. And we didn't get to vote on having that meeting. And I think we should have.
Yeah.
We had no idea that that meeting was taking place until,
So basically, you just want any ad hoc related to that, to where it's their board and our full board for the ad hoc?
And they
So
could
it
do
won't be
it
an ad
Zoom.
hoc anymore.
You know, they could do it Zoom like they do it now.
Yeah,
But
but wait,
for our side, so.
Well, what
we're
I'm
all-
getting at is that if you replace an ad hoc that wasn't a regular meeting, then you would have to agendize it and it would be a third meeting every month. Instead of just the two that we have and then the state update meeting, you would, so in essence, it would be 4 meetings a month.
well, they don't,
Right.
does the planning meeting meet that often with Lake of the Woods?
It would just be a special meeting.
That was a special
Just a
meeting.
one-time.
That was a one-time special.
So it wouldn't be
Then,
that.
but they're not
But
all-
going forward, she wanted.
You were
to have their
informed because
whole
they
board.
gave us the
Alright.
they gave us the information before the meeting. At the end of the meeting, we had an
When I
email.
was gone, you guys got the information. I wasn't even here at that meeting.
We got
Were you
an,
here for the meeting?
I
No.
was not here for the meeting where they gave you the information that they wanted to meet with us. No, I was
No.
not here for that. meeting.
And we were not told that they even wanted to
Joan
meet.
had sent an email that, and
To-
either
to-
Joan or Pam had sent the email,
you.
so what was reported was to us that they were gonna go forward with the annexation.
I never saw that email.
Well, you can't be privy to that meeting itself because now there's 3 board members. So it's
It's a meeting.
a serial meeting, so you can't get that. You could get the information during a regular meeting, but when the other side was just mulling something over and wanted more information to make a decision and didn't really want to make it a public issue until they had the information, it seemed right that the ad hoc just gave them all the information they needed and then they could make up their mind. And then if it went further than that, then you guys would all know, the whole board would know about it.
But we didn't even know.
Because it was asked that once they made their decision with the information they had, they were gonna get back to us and say if they wanted that to be an issue. If they wanted that to be part of everything. It was just, they didn't get the information they wanted some clarification, and then they were gonna decide as a board if they wanted us to decide as a board and talk about it and make a decision. What they asked for was just more information. They felt like they didn't have enough information to know even what they were doing. So I think we provided all of that. The ad hoc provided all the information,
Obviously
because
not.
I haven't heard nothing since that time. So I think that's what the problem is.
It just, I feel, and I think maybe a couple
Okay,
of the
so
other
the next time there's a special meeting, we'll put you on the ad hoc and I'll stay off the ad hoc.
No, she said full.
No, that doesn't solve the problem.
So it's a full board meeting.
But you can argue and vote on it at next meeting,
Everybody.
what's an agenda item, because right now,
It's out
Okay.
of order.
We can't do
Okay,
anything.
sounds good.
Alrighty. Moving, right along. Number 6, manager's report.
All right, as you've seen, we have a new guy, Jeff Bund. He, was a ship's captain and did sewer inspections and stuff, but he got tired of driving 4 hours a day on the freeway. Wants to stay local, so giving him a shot. So far, he's worked out great. He's really.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeffrey Bund,
Bond,
Bund,
B-U-N-D.
yeah.
Okay.
But he's a very mild mannered guy, but he has no problems working. So far, we had a leak today. And, they worked on it all day and got it knocked out
How long has he been with us?
since Monday. Then, we had to put shocks and struts on, one of the Toyotas. Never been done since we've had the truck, so that's 2014 till, or 2016 till now. So that was about $1,100. And then I rented a chipper. I think I told you last time, but I rented a wood chipper because for the last 15 years, we haven't rented one. So the heavy brush is building up around Pine One, Sam Young, and McGee. And if a fire came, it would burn the tanks and ruin our tanks. So it was $1,800 to rent the chipper for a week. The guys were out there killing themselves, getting it all cut back and chipped up, and because there's no way you could haul that kind of stuff to the dump effectively. It was mountains of brush, and the dump truck, you can't use the dump truck because the tailgate folds open. It doesn't lay down, so everything just hangs up there at the gate. So anyway, we got all that stuff done. And, well, we're still finishing McGee, but we don't need the chipper for that, so I got the chipper back in time, so. Other than that, everything's good.
Do you handle all the, excess brush and all the spikes that we have?
Yeah, like I said, they're still finishing up McGee, but it's stuff that don't need a chipper. So, yeah,
Good job.
thanks.
Do we fall underneath that, June 1st, clearance inspection?
Yeah. But they're only concerned about the public areas mostly, I mean, we always do all the tanks. But the fact that they're not done with McGee just yet isn't gonna affect anybody.
Okay. Administrative, is that by y'all?
Yep.
Administrative assistance report, Jeff?
Don't forget to do your required board training. Also, I'll be getting with Johnny hopefully before the next meeting, so in the next 2 weeks, to work on our, you just.
Sorry.
Just, that's how quick it just, to work on the.
Sorry.
Microsoft emails.
Thank you. I wonder, is there a date for the 700 and the training that we have to complete it by?
So 700s are complete. 700s do have a deadline, but we're good because they're all in.
Okay,
There's not really a deadline for the board training. You're supposed to do it every 2 years, so that's the requirement. But no,
So we don't wanna wait 6
no
months.
end date and no
Sorry, I'm not
consequences or
doing it.
anything built into the
Well,
law.
that's
Just
how,
do it.
but
That's
that's
it.
how we lost our transparency last time.
Yeah, you can't, yeah, that's with CSDA. So you can't have their transparency unless your trainings are up to date.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I didn't. do
Number
it.
7, standing committee reports. Accounts payable committee,
We met, went through all the invoices and asked Deborah to, cut the checks. We'll discuss all that in financial.
state update meeting committee.
We met, we'll discuss them on each of the issues. But they're all on the agenda
Thank you.
to be discussed.
Number 8, ad hoc committee reports, planning project committee,
We haven't met.
meter well project committee.
Weren't we gonna disband that? We didn't have enough people to do that
We
last
just,
time.
yeah,
So at the
Did we
end,
disband it?
no, we could have because. we
We'll
didn't
do
have
it at
enough
the end of
board
the meeting.
members.
Okay. Easements and deeds committee,
Hasn't met.
Hasn't met.
standby fee,
haven't met.
No, we're the rate study.
Oh, we're,
The
same
state-
answer to us.
Stand by, we
Stand-
haven't
You
met.
haven't met. Hopefully we'll be.
The
I'll
rate
be
study
meeting
committee
on-
did
in-
not.
on
we're
June
waiting on,
28th.
June
June 28th.
self-help enterprises.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9,
Okay,
financial business,
I guess I'll go over because Deborah's not here. So,
Sweet.
Oh,
That was
just in
good.
time. She heard us.
hi Deborah, you're up.
you're muted, hon.
Are you there, Deborah?
Muted.
You're muted if you can hear us.
I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
Okay, we can hear you
We
now.
can hear you now.
Okay,
You have the floor. Go ahead.
all right. So we prepared. Wait a minute, I'm shaking. Hold on. Hold please. Okay. We prepared 32 checks out of the revenue operating account for a total of $42,327.57. The extraordinary disbursements include a JPIA benefit insurance premium of $9,007.47. The primary visa was $5,103.32. A disbursement to Ferguson for 5 invoices totaling $3,126.28. An Edison disbursement for $7,154.89. Those were the extraordinary disbursements.
And in that visa bill was the $1,800 for the, which,
Was it?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, if there's no question.
I have a question.
Director
Okay.
Stoneberg, you have the floor.
On the, credit card, the tire charges for $119.99, that's not a duplicate, right? They're both dated the same and everything looks the same on them, but it was two different.
Was,
Two different
there
trucks.
was,
It's on the same day.
there's two different,
Yeah, that,
They
that
just
weird
did it
thing,
as-
shouldn't have been the same day, cause I ordered them at different times. I ordered them at least a week apart.
I remember seeing two receipts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
so they're a week apart, but they somehow they dated them the
Yeah,
same.
there's
Okay.
two players.
Yeah, cause it looks like a duplicate. I
The
was just
red one
making
and one of the
sure.
green ones.
Okay. That was my question.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? I'll entertain a motion to pay our bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay our bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call director. Director Schoenberg, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 500. Motion carried. Number 10 and 11 will be tabled. Moving on to
I wanted to, were we
Director
not,
Nyman.
were we not going to talk about, moving the money? That's not on the agenda?
It was supposed to be.
Well, you didn't ask for an agenda item specifically.
Well, we can-
Because I would have heard it in a minute.
We can talk about it in
But you said,
financials.
yeah, you said it didn't need an agenda item because you're only transferring it local. Plus, you didn't have the numbers until the calculations were done.
Right,
Yeah, we
but
just
what
back up
but we just have to, we have to,
I thought we were going to have an ad hoc so we could figure out if we needed to transfer the money.
well, we do need to transfer the money. That's, okay, so coming out of the, since we're in financials, we can talk about it. Coming out of the meeting,
The
One of the-
planning meeting,
out of the planning meeting, one of the concerns is that we didn't have the replacement account totally up to date, because there was a period of time where there was a misreading of the bond book. And so less money had been put in there. So apparently, I don't know what the figure is, it could be $600,000 that we need to put into the replacement fund.
From the CIP to
So,
the USDA.
so,
replacement.
so our thinking to satisfy the board of Lake of the Woods and to make everybody happy, we wanna take whatever money is due, because we're already putting in the correct amount every month right now into the replacement, what we're supposed to do going forward. Okay, and we've been putting
Plus
in.
some extra.
Plus, we've been putting in an extra $2,500 a month. So what we wanna do is, whether you do it ad hoc, and have them go through it and figure out the exact amount for the last 10 years of what we need. We transfer that money from the CIP. And then that will be up to date, and that's one issue gone. So then whatever's left in the CIP will be left in the CIP. And my suggestion would be that cause we'll be stopping the extra $2,500, and maybe we need to put like $5,000 into the CIP, and we can talk about putting money into the CIP separately.
As a side note, it's also gonna help us with the rate study when we finally do that. Because the rate study people always look at like the capital improvement fund and think we have all this money when we don't, because it's all earmarked for USDA. But they never understand that. So having it in the account it's supposed to be in isn't gonna hurt us at all. It's just gonna help us in that regard. And it's gonna get us back up to where we're supposed to be. Yeah, keeps it all straight.
Director Gibson.
Didn't you and somebody else go through the bonds a few months ago, or was it Lisa and Terry?
We did go through the bonds, but what happened was prior to that, and the people for the state, they have not been concerned about that being in there, but we should have been putting in
Federal.
the federal, yeah. We should have been putting in money for like 10 years that we didn't put in. We put money in, but we didn't put enough money in because when you guys did originally the bond book, and from our previous bookkeepers, we did not get the proper information, so we did not.
And the Prop 218 people.
And the Prop 218 people, no one said, hey, this is wrong, what we're doing. And then we reviewed it again, and we read it, 50 times?
Yeah, we've reviewed it multiple times, and we voted on stuff multiple times. And the very last time, this board decided that it was better to keep it in the CIP. Well, then I think we're having second thoughts about that, because the whole reason, and a lot of that would have to do with Johnny's recommendation of having more liquidity with that money. But because it's causing other issues with the public feeling like we're not keeping up with our obligations, which is not correct. I think it just makes it easier for the public to see exactly what's going on, as opposed to the money's in this drawer instead of this drawer. The money's there, it's just what we're calling it. And so I think, even though we made a decision, I don't know, remember when we made the decision about keeping it in the CIP, I think that's just my personal opinion, we have to vote on it, that might not have been the best decision, because it's causing all of this extra issues or questioning or misunderstandings that don't need to be there. So rather than have one more misunderstanding on the table, I just felt it's doesn't matter where it is, it's just slightly more restricted if you keep it in the USDA capital improvement than a less restricted capital improvement. Same thing, the money's not going anywhere, it's just.
Okay, so if our CI, I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand.
Director Gibson, go ahead.
So if our CIP is gone down a little bit, that is going to help us on the rate study?
Actually, I agree with you, because what happens in the rate study, why they told us to do the CIP in the first place, is they felt that we weren't stocking away enough money to be able to cover stuff. They didn't understand that. It's kind of our fault too for not understanding the bond book well enough, but our experts didn't understand the bond book well enough. So instead of telling us you need to be putting more money into the USDA CIP, it's a CIP, it's just not called a CIP, it's called something else, because the name had to be what the USDA told us to name it. It's called the replacement fund.
Because it's to replace things that they paid for.
Right, but it's
But
still
we
a
would have,
CIP.
and we would have to go to them
To ask permission.
to ask permission.
But
So
they've
we-
given us permission every
Right.
time we've asked them.
So it's
Right.
money for a USDA, right?
For anything that was done in the USDA project, so it's a little more restricted, you can't spend it on something that had nothing to do with the USDA project. The reason why it will help us with the Prop 218 is this time, hopefully, the 218 committee, whoever, I can't remember, it's you guys, right? Will understand it well enough that when they go in and make those recommendations to how much we should be charging, the restricted money is going to be in the correct restricted place. There won't be more money that needs to go in there, and now they'll tell us an accurate amount of money that we should be stocking away for the unrestricted CIP. So it might raise the amount that they're telling us to charge, but that I think it would be more accurate than it would be if the money's sitting in the CIP and they go, oh, you already got $1 million in here, no big deal. Or maybe you don't need to put as much money. It's gonna look more like we need to put more money into the CIP for this next Prop 218 than less that they might tell us to put in, because I think USDA is satisfied and we already have $1 million something extra.
And we have to be aware that out of that, we're gonna be taking $38,000 to pay for the properties. So,
So our CIP is gonna do it.
so our
That's
CIP
good,
is probably gonna end up around $200,000 or something.
Well-
So we'll have to also start putting some money.
But none of that's enough to do anything anyway.
Right, but we still need to put money
Right, we
away.
definitely have to put money. I'm just saying, transferring the money, we don't have enough in there even now to worry about because it won't replace anything that we
It's not gonna replace
need to
anything,
replace.
Yeah.
including any of the USDA stuff.
Yeah.
But why do you feel like, Terry, you're shaking your
Well,
head?
because you
Saying
keep
it's-
saying that, I mean, I have never spoken to the 218 because I wasn't on the board at that time. So, but you have in the past have always said that they just look at all those accounts and say that you've got all this money. No matter which account it's in, you still got all this money, restricted or not, because they don't seem to understand what we mean by restricted.
No, I think they understand it. I don't think they understood the bond calculations.
Yeah,
They didn't understand. We showed them the book. The guy went over the book at length. We've had two Prop 218 people, both professionals that did not understand that bond book.
And you think the third one will?
No, we do. We understand it now. So they only understand what we're able, I think, to provide to them, like.
The bottom line is that we wanna put the money in to the restricted account to allay any stuff from Lake of the Woods and from the public, that we have the proper amount according to the bond rate.
and not just that, but if it says we're supposed to have it, then we're supposed to have it there.
Right,
The fact that we don't wasn't our fault at the time, but now that we know it's an issue, we should replace it and make us legit with USDA.
I don't think those USDA
They don't
cares.
care. We
They
talked,
don't-
Terry and I talked to them.
We
They
talked to
could
them
care
many
less.
times,
But
they don't seem to care.
I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is just that we fulfill whatever the bond book says, so it's fulfilled, whether or not the USDA cares, whether we call it CIP or we call it replacement. They said they cared, they made us do that account, but I think they're just worried that we don't go bankrupt, that we have enough money to, cover what we can. And, I think it would just alleviate some members of the public thinking that something's not on the up and up with our money, which I believe it is.
Okay.
Yes.
But I do not think that we need to just go and say, Lake of the Woods gave us a number. We'll
no,
put that in there. We need to go in and we need to figure it out.
That's not.
we were just saying that we needed to figure out the money. So we could put you and maybe Lisa on.
Because we
on
have
the
to
ad
take
hoc.
some of that money. And they, and they don't take that into
Well,
account.
I know that, that's why I'm saying we need an ad hoc committee, because then Deborah can work with you guys and give you the information of like the telemetry, because we got permission from the,
About 40,000 or 50,000.
yeah, $40,000 or $50,000, so that doesn't have to be in there. And
Something else.
And,
too.
and there was something else, so, so that's something that we need to look into.
I don't even remember what we spent it on two different things. One was telemetry and one was, we'll have to go back and look
Must have
because
been a very long time ago.
you got permission to do it, so it's
Yeah.
during your time.
But one of them, I probably got permission from Dan Johnson.
Yes, Dan Johnson,
That's been 10 years.
10 years, yes. So
And
one of them was
that's
to replace, I think it paid for part of it paid for something that we didn't have enough money to pay for, that was their stuff that we replaced.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was the telemetry. which
Yeah,
after
and none of this
that-
should be stressful for anybody though, is the point. It's a simple moving of money. Nobody told us how much money to move. They just brought up the fact that it obviously doesn't match what the bond book says, so if the ad hoc, you and Lisa or whoever wants to do it, reads the bond book, everybody agrees, transfer the money, no stress, no worry, we're all good.
Well, and Tiffany was suggesting we just plug it into AI or whatever, but
Well, you
I
could
don't-
do that with her maybe.
You can do that too.
I mean, I think Lisa should be involved. I think you should be involved because you're the treasurer. So I think at the end of the meeting, we can make a ad hoc committee for it and you guys.
An ad hoc committee for what?
For changing the bond.
To go over the
To go over, to find out what amount of money we need to put into that account.
Or anyone can do it based on the formula that I mean, I set out because there's always issues with me being on a ad hoc. I don't have to be on it. You guys can clearly read. I think Terry understands the formula. It's just a formula. But you have to go backwards in time and forwards in time.
Backwards to 2004.
Yes. And then
Yes.
I'll
20 years.
Or you make it really easy and we put money in, because we know that we have more than enough to cover it in the CIP. And we continue to put money in the CIP, and we can always take money out, because the other thing you're supposed to do with the USDA is re-examine stuff every October 15th. And if there's the wrong amount of money in there, then you take it back out and put it right back in our regular bank accounts.
Yeah.
And it's no longer restricted. So if we want to just not drive ourselves crazy right now, cover ourselves completely and not have to worry about how long it's gonna take us to go back to 2004, you can it's not like,
Sure.
yeah, you can overpay it like we do with everything, like we do that when we do the payment, right? The USDA payments, we're like, they get it wrong, so we're just gonna put an extra 5,000 in, so if they decide that we're wrong, they'll take the extra money, which they decide under, not over, but we've been doing that, we've been overpaying it and then replacing it every time we examine it once a year. So I mean, that would be my suggestion, just to not drive everyone crazy, and then it gives us time, and it doesn't have to be like next month that we're trying to figure this out. And someone else can be on that ad hoc if they want to learn how to do it. I don't have to be on it.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Overpaid.
So what amount are we proposing?
How much do we have what's in the
We got-
CIP right now?
1,078,000, and we're taking 138,000 out, so basically we have probably $900,000. So
I have a question.
Director.
How did we arrive at the 138,000? I'm just a little confused.
That's the 138 is what we're gonna pay
for the properties,
Okay, got it.
that's for the Bear, that's Bear
Bear
Court,
and
that's Bear
Well
Court
And
and
the other.
Well 9. Well 9. We don't know, we'll get into
And
other.
since those are long-term properties, that seemed to be the smartest place to take the money from, because we don't have enough money in the operating revenue.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay. Everyone good?
So what amount are you proposing?
I had figured, Joan, what was the figure that you guys came up with? I think it was over what it should have been, but since you guys had an amount.
80,000.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I don't remember exactly. I can go back on my notes. Because
I think you said 800 something thousand. I think it's more like 600,000, but
for some
I don't
reason
know.
or other, yeah, for some reason or other, the number 680 is in my mind. But keep in mind that when we did that, we were doing very rough calculation. And therefore that
and we
might be
weren't-
too much.
And we didn't count the money that's been taken out for telemetry and whatever else.
Put in 7.
So,
I would put in like 8 or 9 and
no,
just
not
Well,
8 or
then-
9, then you have no
It's
money
not
at
even
all in the CIP. And we need to figure out how much really needs to go in there. If we do need to put it in there, then we will.
But that money that you're putting over right now should
I
go to the CIP.
think you just put 700,000,
Yeah.
just do I move that we,
Well, then that's
we
gonna
do-
leave us 200,000 in there?
Yeah.
that right now, it'll have
That's all we have anyway.
$378,000 in there. And then you're gonna take 138 out when we finally go into escrow.
The reason I'm saying more is in their rough calculation. She's saying 680. I remember something like 680 as my calculation, but in the rough calculations,
I don't think it's that big a deal. I think if you get 700,000 in there, you're close enough. And I think
I'm
we,
good with whatever.
I think
you
we
guys
have
are-
time, I think we have time to figure out. It's not like you have to figure it out in the next 2 weeks.
I
mean,
agree with that. And then if that Hawk does want to go through the whole bond book, they can do that and we can adjust it, take it out or put more in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I move that we put 700,000. Is there a second?
is that the end of it? 700,000 in,
Into
From
from the CIP into the replacement fund.
thank you. We'll have a second.
Well, I will second it.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Roll call directors, Director Schoenberg,
I,
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
No,
Director Gibson,
Abstain.
Director Garcia is an aye. We have 3, 1 nay, and 1 abstention. Motion carried. Okay, number 12. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park, Lake of the Woods consolidation.
Thank you, Deborah.
Oh, thank you.
Deborah.
Have a good evening. I'm sorry I was late.
Deborah? No worries. Number 12. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park. I'm sorry, go ahead.
before we move on, I think we need to address the extra money that's been going into the replacement then.
Okay, let's back up for a minute and discuss that.
And I don't know if we still need Deborah for that,
Well, she's still here for the second.
because how much money right now are we putting into the
Well,
extra?
we're $2,500. You know,
I don't know.
you're the treasurer.
I don't know.
Well, why would you not know? Oh, you need to look it up.
Because I don't have those figures in my
Okay.
head. That's why I don't know.
Which account are you looking at?
Putting,
The transfer that goes into the replacement account over the okay, so we have the regular bond book transfers that are specific amounts, like the 9,000 that happens, and then but this is a set.
monthly, we
amount
have like
monthly.
2,000 something plus 5,000 that's going into the replacement monthly. And then there was an extra, I believe it was an extra $2,500.
Okay, let me go through the accounts to see if I can find. General fund.
And I think that so far, we've been doing okay. I think we should at least
Just move it to
Move-
CIP.
just move that, but I think we should up it to $5,000. I think we should try to put $5,000 a month into the CIP, so that we're at least amassing something.
The reason we stopped the CIP, 5,000 that we were putting in there was because we didn't have it we were constantly taking it out of the CIP to put it back in revenue so we could pay bills.
And in the general fund that we kept.
And
trying to
so far for the last 3 months, we every time we've had like $90,000 left in the.
Well, we got a new employee too, so keep that in mind.
Or
Yeah,
just-
see,
So we
our-
were taking it from the
That's what I
CIP,
mean.
we were taking it from,
One at a time, guys, come on.
sorry, that other account that we set
General.
aside, we were taking it from the general, not from the CIP.
Okay, why
But
don't we
the
just
general
start
has
out?
almost no money left in it. so.
So
The general's up to 113.
Oh, well, not. Good.
Any more discussion?
Right now, just to go over everything, let's just go over everything. All right, for the end of May, we have 128,000 in the revenue operating.
okay.
Okay,
Different
in,
numbers than I have.
in the general fund, we have $113,753. In the capital improvement, which is short term,
Terry's thinking of different amounts.
No, that's because he's looking at what Deborah printed out. So
Yeah.
that's probably more current than what I printed out last week.
Okay,
so the capital SLA, which is for short term, we have $244,106. Okay, In the distribution system emergency reserve, we have 218,568.
That's gone up.
So that's gone up. In the capital improvement reserve, currently we have 1,078,746.
1 million.
1 million. I mean,
Like 1,000, what?
I didn't mean that.
Thank
1 million. Sorry.
Move to zero.
Okay.
Scared me from it.
And currently, the USDA payment fund is at 74,778, which we're building up to make. the
That we're
payment.
putting in monthly to make the.
Monthly to make our payment, in October. And so, and our reserve account, which is what we're supposed to have in there, we have 73,266, which will review in October, and it might go up, but it's only.
We
gonna be
actually took money out last
Right,
time.
and that would only go up maybe a few $100 if that's the case. So and loan reserve for loan 2 was 85,523.
Bless you. So the only thing that Jai is saying, like, our cost did go down some because we didn't have, and when we add an employee, and I don't know if this person has a family, it goes up substantially, like our,
The insurance.
insurance goes up by
The
almost
insurance is gonna
1,000.
go up, the insurance is gonna go up.
Don't cross talk.
Oh,
Thank you.
Insurance is gonna go up at least 2,000. If he's got a family, like $2,500, so it's gonna be like 11 grand.
You a married man?
He's not married, but he has kids, and I don't know how that's gonna work out. I don't know if he's gonna put the kids on, so I think that's like $2,400 a month for a family,
Yeah,
if I remember right.
so anyways, why don't we just put the 2,500, if it's $2,500, whatever we're putting over, let's just do that right now, and then we can revisit this.
Manager,
I don't think we have to pin, I agree with that. I don't think we have to pin anything down rock solid right now, because we got, standby fee. We need to see what that does and the rate study, and then we'll know better where we're at and how much money we gotta have for everything. So getting it close, getting a rough idea should be fine for right now
okay,
until June 28th.
you agree?
So your motion's actually the 25 and not 5.
Yes. So I make a motion that we take the money that we were putting in the overage, which I believe is $2,500, whatever that amount that Deborah finds that we're putting in over in the replacement fund, that we cancel that transfer and have a new transfer put in to the CIP amount.
Is that correct, Terry? Is it
I
2,500?
think that's what it is. Because we've reduced things.
I put in a caveat that Deborah,
Okay.
she can go with Deborah and check it and,
It's 2,500.
okay.
Perfect. There we go.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call directors. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Whatever you know.
sorry,
No.
Director Gibson,
Abstain.
Is there a reason why I know?
Probably several.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Director Garcia is an aye. 3, 1 abstention, 1 nay. Motion carried. Moving on to,
Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Have a good weekend.
A, discussion, review, project timeline and budget. Anyone?
All I know on that is that, it's the same as before, what we reported on last time, with
No information.
we'll know next week, when we have our state update meeting, but the signatures were going around for the amendment. It had already been approved at his boss's level.
Yeah.
And they were sending it, they have like 6 other signatures they had to get. And so we should they said we should be getting it in like a month or 2.
Yeah.
The approval.
B, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of well number 8.
Nothing new on that.
C, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of well number 9 and additional booster and tank site properties.
Yes, sir. D suggested that we, cut a check, for the purchase amount, agreed upon purchase amount, and start an escrow account to put the check into. Because apparently we have to do that before all the signatures are to get ready. So I told D I'd never started an escrow account before and asked him if he would help, and he said, yeah, because they do them all the time. So my suggestion is you, vote and approve the check being done, and then when it's time to do it, I can get Deborah to cut a check for the amount of the purchase and then get you guys to sign it, and then I can take it to D, so I don't have to wait for 2 weeks for a board meeting. Cause you already agreed to purchase the property, so you just have to say, yeah, it's
But
okay.
who are we making it out to?
That's why it's gonna be a Chicago title you suggested for the impound account, but that's why I'm saying don't cut the check right now until I get those particulars
Okay.
for the memo on the check and who you make it out to.
And at that time, you'll have to have, Terry. come
3
in,
people, yeah.
make a transfer from the CIP to the,
Yeah,
to the general
yeah,
account.
so I'll make sure I get her one of the signatures and then she'll know to do it.
Second half of that is certificate of compliance, lot line adjustment, and purchase and sales agreement.
I got no updates on those indeed.
Well, so are we voting on cutting that or?
We can't.
Yeah, well, we can because it's under this,
Oh, it does say vote, okay.
Would you want to make that in a motion form?
what is the exact amount?
I don't have it in front of me.
And usually the escrow company is the one who tells you.
Well, and we
what
haven't
that
really
is.
negotiated, I mean, we have them out, but I'm still a little confused because I haven't signed anything, but I think you just have to have a certain amount in escrow. I don't know how
Yeah.
to do it
And
in Eagle County either.
Yeah, because they would return anything extra, but we did agree on the price, whatever the appraisals were, we agreed to
We
that.
agreed on the,
And
yeah.
they agreed to that, so it's like 138,000, I don't know if there was any change involved there.
Probably was.
That's what I'm saying, so if you approve that, whatever the agreed upon price was, then when it comes time and Dee gets back from his vacation, I can come. to you
Because
and
the
say,
closing and all that stuff is separate, right? They come up with that. I mean, because there's not just the amount of
Well, that's what
the
I'm saying.
purchase, there's also,
Apparently,
The-
before that Jeff and Emily signed the contract, signed the agreement,
you need money
we
in
need
the
the impound
escrow.
account. Because that way, everybody's covered, but Dee will clarify all
So
of
that would normally be where you take a loan out so that you can guarantee
Yeah.
that that money will be paid, but we're paying it in cash, so we're,
Paying in
okay.
I make a motion that we put, the purchase agreement price for Bear Court and for, well, number 9, into an escrow account. And Dee can firm up that number. It will not exceed $140,000.
Motion has been made, go ahead.
Do we have to set up an escrow account?
That's
Do
what
we
I'm
have to add
saying.
it?
He said to start an escrow account. When I told him that I had never done that,
He's gonna help
could you
John
help
with
me?
it.
He said, yes, he would help do it
Okay.
because he works
Yeah,
with them
because
all
usually
the
the
time.
title company
The
does.
title company does it, yeah, we,
Yeah, but you have to go to, that's what he's saying. You have to go to the title company
with the money.
with the money and work with them to do it. And I could do it myself, but I'd never done it before, so I'd rather have
Right.
Dee do it.
I just don't know how we account for it in, our money. If we're opening a new account, doesn't mean.
It's not a new bank account, it's an escrow impound account.
Okay,
Totally different.
Through a title company, so it's not in our bank, it's in their, it's something they hold as a guarantor, I guess, of the property. I don't know, I've only done that.
They hold the money to make sure everything's good, and then when the escrow goes through and there's no hitches, the escrow company releases the payment to the people that are selling the property. That's how it works, and then if the deal fell through, then the money is returned to the buyer.
But I'm afraid too that we're gonna have to come up with closing as well.
Okay, well, I asked Dee about the pavement price, he said yes. So
Right, but
everything
there's
else can be
other-
worked out down the
Yeah,
road.
there's other stuff, so that wouldn't be, that might be enough just to cover and hold.
That's enough to open the account, and then there'll be whatever that is, they'll bring it
Extra
back
fees.
to us and say, you owe us for the title and this and that, escrow fees or.
And whatever it is, we agreed to buy it already, so
Right.
we gotta cut the check for the purchase price. If there's something else, then we just have to do it, like the lot line adjustment. We have to pay that when it
Yeah,
comes, we
that's
don't know what
separate.
that is yet.
Well, we just have to know that there are other fees
Oh, we
that
know.
are gonna be coming.
Right,
This
but there's
isn't gonna
not,
be the end.
there's not a lot of fees, I mean, it's not like,
We've all bought homes, we know there's always fine print and the extra charge at the end.
so there's a motion on the floor.
Do I have a second?
I will second it.
Motion has been made and seconded, roll call of directors. Director Schoenberg,
So what, exactly, so the motion is that we cut the check, we
We
prepare to cut a check, because we
we-
can't cut the check until we have all the information.
prepare, we
That
prepare,
we are okaying it
we are pre-okaying
okay.
the check to have signatures for the purchase amount of,
When we
well
have all
nine
the information.
and Bearport, when we
Okay.
have the right information, we will cut the check and it'll go for an
So it
escrow
can happen
account.
outside the
To
board meeting.
to Chicago title.
Well, to
A
what,
title,
to
a
a
title,
title
an
company,
appropriate
to
title
a
company.
appropriate title company.
Okay, I'm an aye.
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 500. Motion carried. D, discussion vote on LAFCO work, resolution FP 2025061 2-01. LAFCO resolution of application, additional LAFCO documents.
This was the only other update that he had, he just recommended that we pass this and sign it tonight. Yeah, so I.
Okay, so just to update everybody, I did get an email that Lake of the Woods had some issues with the LAFCO, some of the, information was not correct that Dee provided to LAFCO. So he did what he is called an errata, which is like a correction. And so now that it is corrected and Lake of the Woods is okay with it, then we can approve this resolution, because the resolution in there said, what did it say?
Well, I think we can
Well, let's go over this, we'll just
read,
go.
I think you should read the emails too, because they're not getting the emails, because they're just going to the.
Then the errata sheet
review.
is in the board books.
Yes,
Everybody
I'll
has
hear.
a copy.
So you just read the email, you just do the red sheet. Or at least review it.
But the emails, Lake of the Woods saying that they're good with it.
They're on here so they can confirm that's true.
That's true, correct?
It's true, yes.
Cameron?
I don't know if Joan knows she's muted. That is true. He cleared up everything.
Okay, if you want me to read the resolution? In the matter of authorizations related to applications for sphere of influence amendment. Whereas the district in the process of consolidating its water supply and delivery systems with that of Lake of the Woods Mutual Water Company, the consolidation, and whereas in connection with consolidation, the district will at the appropriate time seek to annex the Lake of the Woods Mutual Water Company service area into the district. Whereas in preparation for the annexation, the district submitted an application to the Kearney County Local Agency Formation Committee to amend the district's sphere of influence to include areas adjacent to the district, including the Lake of the Woods Mutual Water Company service area, the application, the filing of which the district's board of directors authorizing during a regular board meeting duly noticed and held. Whereas the district filed an application pursuant to Government Code 56428 on March 20th, 2025. Now therefore, the board of directors of the Fraser Park Public Utility District does hereby resolve, determine, and orders as follows. One, the board finds that the recitals set forth above are true and correct, and they are incorporated herein, made an operative part of this resolution. Two, the application is in the best interest of the district. And three, district staff and consultants are authorized to take all such actions as necessary and appropriate to pursue the application, including without limitation to sign such forms, authorizations, and agreements as LAFCO may require.
Do we want to read the errata
Word of the errata.
right after it?
Okay,
Wow. All right.
No,
okay.
it's just too, I mean,
Subject,
not the whole agreement, the errata's just too. big.
errata,
We already
errata
read the
sheet,
agreement.
Fraser Park Public Utility Application to amend its SOI, June 5th, 2025. This is an errata sheet for the above application. A correction to the amount of water storage volume for Lake of the Woods is listed in item 2 below. Additional information is also included to enhance your understanding of the two systems. One, project information, PARA 5 services. A, California Public Utility Districts can offer a range of services, including water supply, wastewater treatment, electricity, parks, oversee public buildings, garbage service, roads, etc. While Fraser Park has elected to offer water service, it is also maintains the community's signage boards. PARA 6, future needs and plans, existing facilities. One, the application states that Lake of the Woods storage capacity is 300,000 gallons. The correct amount is 750,000 gallons. Two, while there is more pipe in Fraser Park system than 35,000 feet, there's an immediate need to replace about 10,000 feet in the northern portion of the system and another 25,000 feet in the very near future. Ultimately, all the pipelines in the system will need replacement, but this is the immediate need. The design of the 10,000 feet is completed and was submitted to State Water Board several months ago. Construction application has been submitted as well. Hopefully, the district will receive a funding agreement in the next several months. B, RD, future plans. As the system ages, there will be needs to replace storage tanks, possible acquire more property for new wells. Although the new wells should last beyond 2070, and I'll be dead. Install more water storage tanks, possibly water treatment and blending facilities, and upgrades to the Lake of the Woods metering system from the AMR2 and the AMI systems to match Fraser Park's recently installed advanced level of metering and billing, together with installation of SCADA in the Lake of the Woods system to match that of Fraser Park. Two, expansion of the services area beyond that which is now anticipated. 300 additional residential services will depend on the effects of the climate change and the state of the Cuddy Creek aquifer as time goes on. Currently, there are no plans for expansion beyond what is outlined in the application. Three, there may be a need for nitrate treatment due to the method of wastewater disposal utilized in the Cuddy Creek Canyon service area. Wastewater treatment system for the area will be a future consideration.
What does that mean?
That means that if the septic tanks continue to leak and get old and dilapidate, eventually we'll have to put in a treatment center. Everybody will eventually.
But we don't have a treatment center now, do we?
No, nor
Okay.
do I know where you would put one.
Lisa has a.
Oh, Dr. Schoenberg.
And so Lake of the Woods is, okay with all that, and I'm really happy about item 2, whatever it is under 2.2. Because that was always something that I kind of was, concerned about, but it does give the ability to possibly expand, that's just not talked about right now. Because I know they have all the dry lots and. So you're all okay with that? You said yes?
Pam said yes.
Okay.
Yes, Lake of the Woods is fine with it.
Okay.
I don't understand A at all. The first one, number one. What?
Oh,
I thought we were only doing water.
we are. So what it's saying is, as a public utility district, we have the ability to do more services should we choose, but we do not currently do those services.
That's part of being a special
Right,
district.
right now, as a special district, we've elected to only offer water service, and we do deal with the signage that we put up. But when they were trying to get us to do the Falling Star, they were saying about like snow removal and all kind. So we have the ability to do more, but we don't. We would have to vote on that.
Stallion Springs up by Tehachapi does trash, power, they do parks, they do several things, and it's legal for us to do that, we just choose not to.
But it would have to be in it's legal, but you have to go through a whole,
I'm sure
like
you
right
have.
now, it's not in our current provisions for the water district.
Oh, my God.
I'll entertain a motion. Pass this on resolution.
I'm gonna sign it, so I'm not gonna make the motion.
I will make a motion that we approve resolution number FP 20250612-01 in the matter of authorizations related to application for sphere of influence amendment and also the errata that follows it.
I'll second that.
Motion on the floor has been seconded. Roll call directors. Director Schoenberg.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
I'm Director Garcia, aye, and that makes 500. Carried. Letter E, discussion, vote on the MOU.
Table.
And no, it's no longer tabled. I asked that it come off the table so that we could start to think about what we might need, but I mean, we don't necessarily, it was really for Lake of the Woods to start, letting us know concerns that they have, because those concerns came up, so that allows us a place to talk about concerns so that those can get hammered out and be put in a memorandum of understanding. That's why I asked for it to be taken off the table.
Good, good planning.
Because that's why it was getting discussed in an ad hoc, because it wasn't being discussed
There you
in the
go.
board meeting.
Any discussion?
Anything, Lake of the
No.
Woods?
No, our board is reviewing the MOU and we're going to consolidate all of our questions and put them together. And then we're gonna have an internal meeting to go over it, kind of formulate it, and then get it to you guys. So give us a few months. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Letter F. Discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation.
Hello, it's me again.
ma'am.
Okay, so as far as the $5 million project that we were wrapping up, we've gotten our final project inspection letter and the project's complete. So the generator is being moved over under another contract, which should go under the $5 million one. We're still waiting for one final payout on our claim on that. As far as the next project, we have no news yet. Well number 4, no results yet for this month. Planning station, no results for this month yet. And then for our wells, they were down from last month, 1 to 3.3 feet, except for one well, and that one went up 1 foot. January 2023, they're up 10 to 20 or 36.8 feet. And since 2024, they are down 1.5 feet to up 6.8 feet. Now I know that's confusing, but do you have any questions? That's it.
Thank you. Letter G,
I
discussion.
think Johnny, oh, no.
Johnny,
Reading?
yeah,
Letter
were you
G.
gonna give us our nitrate, or is everything good on your end?
Nitrates are the same, and I believe the levels are the same in 6, but I was gonna go find them, but the guys got them in the truck.
Oh, okay.
I
I have a question. So
Director
because of
Felder.
the changes that happened, are we not required anymore to do that extra testing that was supposed to be happening?
An extra test.
PFAS,
Oh, the PFAS, no, we did it. We did the test. We're
Okay,
just waiting
well-
for results.
Okay, so we don't have the results yet. Okay,
No,
okay, thank you.
Letter G, discuss and vote on claims and payouts.
that won't be until the next meeting.
Thank you. Number 13, discuss and vote update on FPPUD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project. Letter A, discuss and vote on claims and payouts.
That won't be discussed until the next meeting and, I think we have one more, claim before we close it out.
I'm not sure if I told you guys, but they found out they couldn't buy the meters.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I passed that on.
Yeah, the
Well meters.
well.
Ruben was gonna check and see, he tried
Yeah, I
to
didn't
squeeze it
know
in
that.
and he said no. His boss said no.
Okay.
Okay, letter B,
Does that, well, question on that, so does that mean we're not gonna get well meters or that we're going to pay for well meters?
It means that the state ain't gonna pay for it, and if we ever get to where we wanna spend the money, we will, but they're super pricey, so.
What,
I haven't even gotten a quote because there's so much. I would not be surprised if they were $15,000,
Oh, my gosh.
several thousand for sure. So right now, we're gonna manually read them.
letter B, discuss and vote update on the bridge loan request and payments.
I don't think there's anything.
As far as I know that, we have, we paid back partially, but we had gotten some out. We're just waiting, we're waiting on, some claims to come in, for the final payments so that we can pay back the loan.
Okay, thank you.
But I don't know what amounts that they are at this point.
Okay. Number 14, discussion vote on pipeline replacement project. A, discussion vote on the engineering and design.
Got nothing on that or on the next one.
Still waiting on, Jesse Dollawall to give their approval. Dee had already given, his comments
Changes,
back,
yeah.
whatever Jesse had said to Dee on his comments, they had already responded back to Jesse, but Jesse still hasn't given us the approval to finish it all out.
So that's on the application.
So, yeah, for engineering and design. So we're just waiting for the final approval from Jesse. Cause he had made some comments and then Dee had commented back and the last meeting, we had brought it up to Jesse that he needed to do that. So hopefully this meeting, we can bring it up again.
That's A, not B, yeah, that was still
So
A.
there's no discussion or vote on the project. app?
Yeah, there is, because on the project app, didn't they say that they thought, or where did I hear that? Was it at a meeting? That they said that they, thought that they might be able to do them simultaneously, because at first Ruben was telling us that the project application for this was gonna take, seconds. It wasn't gonna be at the same priority level, but then they decided they might be able to give it to a different person to review, the different person will be. in
Yeah, try to
charge of
run
it.
them in parallel to each other.
So was that, did that come to the board meeting?
That was the last state, yeah, that was the last state meeting that you guys
Yeah,
had
yeah,
told
I
us
think
about.
I-
That was at the
Yeah,
last
we
state
haven't-
meeting.
That was the last-
We haven't heard anything back, Lisa.
Thank you, Carlos. Okay.
So we'll be bringing that up again, about well aid again, about funding and all that. That to go simultaneously with the pipeline project. Cause the original thing was what Ruben says, well, which do you want first, the pipeline or well aid? And we said, well, we have to have well aid, that's the most important. So then he came back and said he was gonna try to run it simultaneously.
And it's just a side note, one thing I really liked about Ruben a lot was when the board agreed to have, not that we had much choice, but instead of having the original people that said they were gonna give us $10 million, 9.8 million, have the state disperse it. The letter was the letter of commitment saying that we were gonna get the money for the pipeline replacement because of the need and the consolidation project going forward. So he includes that letter, he's gonna include that with whatever application, whether it's pipeline or late. Because it's like the state's commitment to
Getting the
furtherance
project
of the
done.
consolidation, so. I like that because it refreshes their memory that it's something that they're committed to and not. Just, well, we'll see when we get to you.
Okay. So where we at on discussion, vote on the project application?
That's it.
So that was
Okay,
it.
so
We're
we're
just
waiting.
waiting.
We're just waiting. I don't, unless Carlos has any other updates.
He said there wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. 15, discussion vote on standby fee assessment.
We're having our public hearing on June 28th.
Everybody gonna be able to be there?
We are.
Yeah, what day of the week is it?
Saturday.
Saturday,
12 noon.
I know.
I know.
I knew.
Okay, number 16, discussion vote on the rate study,
Don't have anything.
the new.
Nothing.
17, discussion vote on the district's record retention of digital only file.
We just weren't able to vote on this because you weren't here, so. So, I believe that
This is.
we had discussed it and we were okay with digital only, Tiffany had brought this issue to our attention that some files are digital only, they're never on paper. Do we want them to be on paper? So then we retain the paper and that didn't make any sense. They're already digital, they're already being backed up. So why would we want to give her extra work to turn them into paper and then store extra paper? So I think we just need to vote on it as a board, but we had a general consensus that we were good with it not going to paper. But we need to make a vote. So maybe let's.
Is this form, one that you guys have already filled out?
No, that's number 20.
Oh,
We're not there yet.
oh, okay, sorry.
So do we have a, motion on 17? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move that we just, retain all of the digital files as digital files.
I second it.
Okay. Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call of directors. Director Schoenberg, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye. 5-0-0, motion carried. Okay, number 18, review and approve meeting minutes for 5/6/25, AP Standing Committee. 5/8/25 regular meeting, 5/20/25 AP Standing Committee meeting, 5/22/25 regular estate planning and project meeting.
I move that we approve meeting minutes for 5/6/2025 AP Standing Committee, the 5/8/2025 regular meeting, the 5/20/25 AP Standing Committee, the 5/22/25 regular state planning and project meeting, with any of the amendments that were sent to Tiffany, previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments or typos or other errors that we may not have caught or may need to be corrected.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call directors. Director Schoenberg,
I need to abstain because I believe I wasn't here for at least one of those meetings.
Aye.
Nyman's an aye. Kelly,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Garcia's an aye. We have 4-0, 1 abstention. Motion carried. Number 19, discuss, vote, and forming and or dissolving ad hoc committees. Director Gibson, please.
I would like to be on the quarterly financial meeting. I attended one and it's a good way to learn about the financials and I did well at the meeting. We found where we were losing money, so I'm just hoping to put that on.
That's the. Standing committee, is that,
That's-
can we
that's an
do that?
ad hoc.
Quarterly, who's on the quarterly?
Isn't that a different?
No, that's an ad hoc.
That's
Or
a
standing.
Yeah, I don't think we can do that as an ad hoc, can we?
I'll put it on next,
We'll put it
Okay.
on the next
Get you on
agenda
there.
and then we can discuss it.
Who is it right now? It's
You and I on the quarterly,
on the, quarterly standing committee.
quarterly.
the quarterly.
Okay, we're gonna bring that up next, meeting as well.
And we were going to,
Dissolve.
dissolve, I move that we dissolve the Meter Well Project Committee.
Do I have a second?
You,
What?
aren't you
Oh.
on that?
Oh, I'm on that. Okay, somebody else needs to do it. Okay,
Okay, I'll move that we resolve the meter well project ad hoc.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded on the floor. Roll call directors. Director Schoenberg,
Abstain?
Director Diamond,
aye.
No.
No, I can say aye, because
Okay.
we're dissolving.
Oh, dissolve, okay, then I. That's fine.
I mean,
did you wanna change yours?
Yeah, I'm an aye. That's
Okay. And I was an aye. Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
fine.
Director Garcia is an aye, 500. Motion carried. Number 21.
no, we're not done yet. We have to discuss forming the, what are we gonna call it? The, replacement
Bond book ad hoc.
bond book ad hoc.
Why? But we're already moving the money.
Just at some point, we.
No,
need to
but
do
we
it.
still need to do the ad hoc so that,
We have an accurate.
so you can have the accurate figure and update it completely properly.
The suggestion earlier implied that it didn't have to happen right now, that it could.
Well, yeah, but we still need to form the ad hoc
It
so
doesn't
that you
matter to
guys
me.
can say, in 2 weeks or at the end of the month, we're gonna meet and we're gonna go through this stuff.
Or in 2 months.
Or whatever. So who wants to be on it? I know that, I think the treasurer should be on it. I think Director Kelly.
And I don't, I could certainly try. But I may not know, finances well enough.
I mean, do you wanna try? Otherwise,
Because
I think.
this is-
I'm not gonna be on
This
that.
is gonna be-
I'm done.
To me, gonna be really difficult because we've got to go, like I said, backwards for
20 years.
20 years backwards.
That's why I think it should be Lisa, because she's very astute on this. And
But
she-
it's always an issue and I'm tired of it always being an issue.
Mr. Nyman, looks like you and Terry.
I don't wanna be on it.
And I mean,
I'll do it if it's not an issue, but I'm not gonna like, every time I'm on an ad hoc now or anything, it's an issue and I don't need to be on any ad hocs as far as I'm concerned.
Part of the job, you see,
Huh?
part of the job.
I know it's part of the job, but some people seem to have an issue with every single ad hoc that I do, so it may be part of the job. I just feel like there's this animosity that's continual and I'm not interested in the animosity. If people don't have that issue, then I will happily serve. But if people are gonna have an issue with me serving, then I don't need to serve.
I have a suggestion that nobody likes before on the project.
General Manager, please.
You just decide that you're gonna ask Scott, one of his people in our auditors things. This is the formula, this is the bond book. Go over and tell us what we're
No, because
behind.
that costs us a lot of money.
It costs us money, but it's also, then there's no debate on whether or not it's correct and the numbers are done right. How much could it cost just to go over that?
a lot.
I don't think so. I don't think at all. If there's a formula and you just have to go back 2004, they're smart enough, they'll sit there in their calculator and go, okay, this is it. But like I said,
Because it's not that, just it's not just the formula, it changes every year.
That's what I mean, but that's what they do for a living. Auditors, they do numbers. None of us do numbers at that level. I'm just saying that would be the one way to be absolutely certain that we have the number correct finally.
And then we can stop
Then
talking
move
about the
on
bond
from there.
book.
Yeah.
But then that's taking a very specific account and having the auditor audit that specific
Exactly.
account versus
Exactly.
the whole thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because it's been an issue for the 16 years that I've been here. For the 16 years I've been here. That bond book has been it's been a thorn in the board side since I've been here, trying to decipher how much is owed and what the formula was, for different reasons. But since I've been here. Which, by the way, on the 9th was my 16th year.
Get out of here.
How much do we pay the auditors?
Congratulations.
A lot.
A lot. I don't think that's the appropriate place.
Okay,
It does.
just thought I'd throw it out there since nobody wants to be on an ad hoc.
Director Gibson.
I have confidence in Terry, if you want to be on it, and Lisa,
Okay,
because
I have no problem.
so I make a motion that Terry and Lisa be on the replacement
Bond book ad hoc.
bond book ad hoc.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those excuse me. Roll call,
Are
Director.
you okay doing that, Terry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Director Shaw,
I'll abstain.
Director Nye,
I,
Director Cal,
Abstain.
Director Gibb,
Aye.
Director Gar. Aye. 3-0, 2 abstentions. Motion carried.
They're lefty, I like it.
Thank you. Number 22,
20.
excuse me. How about 21?
How about 20?
Excuse me. Discuss and vote on destruction of obsolete damaged records.
That's what
Did
this
we
other
go
form
that in
is.
our?
no,
No.
this is Tiffany actually had done some work.
Actually.
I mean,
record
I didn't mean it
retention-
that way, but I mean.
Oh,
I didn't mean, no, I didn't mean it that way. What I meant to say
You
was.
have a particular skill, Director Nyman.
Who's listening? Don't listen.
Yeah.
What I meant was, is that she did the work on the authorization.
I've started purging.
She started purging.
Okay, did you want to present anything, Tiffany?
Oh my gosh, if you look at how many pages, and this was only one small section of 700 forms. So it shows you how much actual paper it's gonna get rid of. The only thing that I would point out is the retention for the actual 700 forms is 10 years. But like the information packets, I threw it under the 10 years because it's conservative. It could fall under miscellaneous correspondence, which has a 3-year retention. Or it could fall under 700, which is the 10-year. Does that make
What's
sense?
YW 700 farm?
Oh, Young Wildridge.
Oh, okay.
Are you going through the shed?
Yes.
No, this is
This
just,
is the file cabinet.
This is just the file cabinet.
it's only one part of one tiny file.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wow,
And it's that many pages of,
that was mean.
I didn't mean for it.
I make a motion that we approve the authorization to destroy obsolete records that Tiffany has put on this particular form dated 6/12/2025.
Do I have a second?
I just have a, is this a typo? No, is there a typo in here? The records listed below will be property destroyed? Isn't it supposed to be properly?
Properly,
probably.
property,
Yeah, I
Property.
have to change it.
property, yeah, second
catch.
last word.
Yeah.
I don't even see that.
Up here,
Stop
right
it.
here, Johnny, the title.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, properly. Okay, so we'll.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Yes. Motion has been made, corrected, and seconded. Roll call of directors. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye, 500. Motion carried.
Good job, Tiffany. That's, and the board, that's, the first things we've destroyed in,
That's true.
In
And
20 years.
great.
Okay,
hopefully like 100
Question,
years.
does it matter who signs
goes
it,
in
or
that
can I
thing?
pull a board
Yeah.
member?
Yeah.
So we're gonna be.
Or is board
utilizing
approval
that
not a
one.
Secretary.
signature, it's
I
just
think
the,
board approval would be the vote.
just the vote, okay.
yeah.
Good.
Number 21, discussion vote on future agenda items. Any suggestions, discussion? Covered everything, Tiff?
Yep, I think so.
I'm not seeing any, then we'll go on to number 22. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call directors. Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Garcia is an aye, 500. Motion carried. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you be back in 2 weeks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
We're
you.
adjourned at 5:32.
Thank you, everybody. Good night, Pam. Good night, Joan.
Good night, everybody. Lisa, are you feeling better?
No, that's why I have a mask on.
Okay, I hope you get better
Better than I
soon.
was, I don't have